Tell me if this sounds familiar. You sit down at your desk at 9 in the morning. You have a very clear sense of what needs to be done today. Three important things, maybe four. And then your phone lights up. A Slack message, a meeting invite that just landed, a reply to an email you sent yesterday that has now turned into a thread. And by 11, without making a single conscious decision, you are in a full reactive mode, responding, attending, helping, firefighting. And by 6 in the evening, you are exhausted. But when you look back at what actually moved forward today, almost nothing. The important things, the ones that would actually change your career, your team, your work quality, are exactly where they were at 9 in the morning. This is not a discipline problem. This is not a motivation problem either. And it definitely is not a you need to wake up at 5 a.m. problem. It's a structure problem. And there is a very specific structural habit that most effective senior leaders I have worked with share. They call it different things, but I call it the 20-minute rule. And once you understand it, and more importantly, once you build it, your days will never feel the same. In the 30 years of leading large teams and organizations, I have noticed something about the people who consistently performed at the highest level. It was not that they worked longer hours. It was not that they were more disciplined in some superhuman way. It was not that they had a magic productivity app. It was that they had a very specific relationship with the opening minutes of each work block. Before the day took over, they had already decided what the day was for. And when I looked more closely at how they did that, a pattern emerged. 20 minutes using three specific ways, non negotiable. When I started teaching this to my coaching clients, the feedback I get most often is not, this helped me be more productive. Rather, the feedback is, this is the first time in years I feel I am running my day instead of my day running me. That is what this is all about. The problem with how most of the people start their day, most productivity advice focuses on what to do with your time, prioritize your tasks, use the Eisenhower matrix, time block your calendar, do the hardest thing first. And all of that is fine advice. But it is an advice about task management. And task management is not the real problem. The real problem is attention management. Because here is what actually happens when you sit down to work. Your brain is not a clean slate. It is already carrying the conversation from last night, the message you sent that has not yet been replied, the presentation you are not sure is good enough, the comment your manager made yesterday that you are still running over. And the moment you open your laptop, the moment the first notification arrives, your brain does something completely automatic. It hands over the wheel to the most urgent thing in front of you. Not the most important thing, the most urgent thing. And from that moment, you are no longer directing your attention, you are just following it. The 20-minute rule is a circuit breaker. It creates a deliberate gap between sitting down and reacting, and in that gap, everything changes. The 20-minute rule has three parts. Each one takes roughly 5 to 7 minutes, and the order matters. Part 1 is the 5-minute brain drain. Before you open a single app, read a single message, or respond to a single notification that you write, not a plan, not a to do list, just whatever is sitting in your head right now. Just write that. The unfinished thought from yesterday, the thing that you are worried about, the thing that you are avoiding, the conversation you need to have that you have been putting off. You give it 5 minutes, whether on paper or on screen, does not matter. No editing, no structure, just drain it out. And here is why this works. Your brain has a function called the default mode network. It is the part that runs in the background, churning through unresolved problems, unfinished loops, and unprocessed emotions, even when you are trying to focus on something else. When you sit down to work without emptying that background noise, it does not go quiet. It leaks into every task, every meeting, and into every decision. The brain drain gives the default mode network a place to put its load. And once it has put it down, it stops pulling at you. Most of my coaching clients tell me that after 2 weeks of doing this, they notice something very specific. The low level of anxiety that used to sit behind every work hour starts to lift. Not because the problems went away, because they are no longer carrying them unconsciously. Part 2, the 3 question intention set. After the brain drain, you ask yourself 3 questions. These take about 5 to 7 minutes total. And I want you to write the answers down, not just think them. Question number 1: what is the one thing that, if I do today, will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Not a list, one thing, the thing that has the highest leverage on everything else. For a mid career or senior IT professional, that might be finishing the architecture document that is blocking 2 other teams, or having the conversation with a colleague that has been creating some tension for a week, or completing the analysis that your manager is waiting on before they can approve the next phase. One thing written down. Question number 2: what am I most likely to avoid today? And why does that avoidance cost me? This is the question that smart people find very uncomfortable to answer. Because the thing you are most likely to avoid is almost always the thing that needs most of your attention. That difficult conversation, the incomplete task that you have been circling for 3 days, the email you know will require a real answer. Naming it removes some of its power, and you may not solve it today, but you are no longer pretending it is not there. And question number 3: who do I need to be today to handle what's in front of me? Not what do I need to. Who do I need to be? Do you need to be decisive today? Do you need to be patient, direct, focused, and unavailable, collaborative, and open? Senior leaders do not just manage tasks, they manage their own state. And this question is how they do it intentionally rather than accidentally. So, you have the first two parts: the brain drain, that is 5 minutes of clearing the background noise before it leaks out into your day, and the 3 question intention set, locking in your highest leverage target, naming what you are avoiding, and choosing what or who you need to be. Part 3 is where most of the people will push back because it asks you to do something that feels counterintuitive, something that feels like you are giving up time rather than protecting it. But it is the part that every senior leader I have observed does without fail. And it is that part that ties the whole role together. Part 3 is about the protected first block. After the brain drain and the intention set, you have about 8 to 10 minutes of your 20 left. You spend that time on exactly one thing, the highest leverage item you identified in question number 1. Not email, not Slack, not the stand up prep, the one thing. 8 to 10 minutes before the day starts, before the notifications, before anyone else needs anything from you. And here is why this matters, even though 10 minutes feels too short to accomplish anything meaningful. Because you are not trying to finish the task in 10 minutes, you are trying to start it. There is a principle in behavioral psychology called the Zingar effect. It says that the human brain naturally continues working on tasks that have been started but not completed. When you spend 10 minutes on your most important work before the day starts or day takes over, your brain keeps working on it in the background throughout every meeting, throughout every Slack conversation, every lunch break. So, by the time you return to it in the afternoon, you're not starting cold, you're continuing. And continuing is always faster, always deeper, and always better than starting cold. The senior leaders I observed did not have more time than you. They had better first moves. And the first move was always 10 minutes on the thing that matters the most before the thing that is urgent. So, how to make it work in the real world? The 3 things people say, and the honest answers are: I have taught this to many a clients, and every time 3 objections come up, and I want to address them directly. Objection number 1: my day starts with stand ups. I have no time before meetings. The 20-minute rule does not require silence, a home office, or a perfect morning. It requires 20 minutes before your first meeting or your first reactive action of the day. So if your stand up is at 9, your 20 minutes can be 8:40. If your stand up is at 9:30, your 20 minutes begins at 9. If you are on the train at 8, your 20 minutes is on the train. The brain drain and the intention set requires nothing more than a notebook or a notes app. The protected first block can be 10 minutes on a document, a problem, or even a voice memo with your thinking. The constraint is not the time, it is the permission. Permission to give yourself 20 minutes before you become available to everyone else. Objection number 2. My manager expects me to be responsive from the start of the day. Here is something I want you to consider. Being immediately responsive at 9 in the morning is not a leadership behavior, it's a support behavior. The professionals who get promoted to director level are not promoted because they reply to the Slack fastest. They are promoted because they think with clarity, decide with confidence, and move things forward with intention. None of that is possible if your attention is on loan to everyone else from the very first minute of the day. 20 minutes of protection is not absence, it is the investment that makes everything else better. And objection number 3, I have tried things like this before, but they never stick. This one I take very seriously. Reason habits like this do not stick is usually one of the two things. Either the habit is too complicated, involving too many steps, too many decisions, so the friction kills it, or the habit is attached to a motivation rather than a structure. Like, I will do this when I feel I need it. That never works. I will do this every day before I open the laptop. Almost always does work. The 20-minute rule is a deliberately simple. 5 minutes of writing, 3 questions, 10 minutes on one thing, same time every day. Give it 10 working days before you judge it, not 3, 10. And let me bring all of this together. You sat down at 9 with 3 important things to do, and by 11 you were in full reactive mode, and by 6 you were exhausted, and those 3 things are still waiting. That is not failure of effort, that's a failure of structure. The 20-minute rule does not add hours to your day, it changes the quality of every hour after it. Because you start with a very clear mind, a set intention, a momentum already built on the things that matter the most. And when the reactive wave hits, because it always hits, you ride it a little differently. You are not swept away by it because you have already done the one thing that needed to happen today. The senior leaders who seem to have more time than everyone else do not have. They just never give up the first 20 minutes away. So here's your challenge for tomorrow morning. 20 minutes before you open anything. 5 minutes, write whatever is in your head. 5 to 7 minutes, answer the 3 questions. And 8 to 10 minutes, start the one thing. Just tomorrow, not a new life system, not a 30-day challenge, just tomorrow morning. And tell me what happened. Drop a comment below. Tell me what is the one thing that you are going to put in your protected first block tomorrow. Name it. Make it public. I genuinely want to know, and I read every single comment. If this gives you a new way to think about how you should start your day, subscribe to the promotion code, my free newsletter, where I share one insight every week from the other side of the table. The link is in the description. And if you want to understand why being busy is not the same as moving forward, watch my video on why smart IT professionals do not get promoted. Because the 20-minute rule is a productivity habit, but what you do with the protected time is a career strategy. That video connects the two. I'll see you in the next one.